Kind of rearrange it like this. Has this one got some motion on it, so it just doesn't actually stop when you shut it off?
No, one of them has, it goes through a startup cycle. Is that what this is doing?
It seems like it kind of does if you stop and kind of keep on going. But this one's still around. Not the stop.
There's going to be a problem.
No, it's pretty long.
All right.
Is this your receipt?
That's my receipt. So we have a list of prices. All right. Oh man, I already crushed the box. Jeez Louise.
Starts out with a winner.
Man.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
All right, so what have we got here? We've got.
Are we taking?
You should know by now. I just go straight into
You
it.
just
go straight into
you're
it.
just one of those guys.
I've been recording.
Straight. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
So we've got the new Backpacker 5-unit well car, and this is the big TTX block lettering with the conspicuity striping, the Heritage logo, 2008 plus. I really like that manufacturers are starting to put like the era that this stuff is on. So if you're modeling and you're really picky about it, and you're kind of being a Rivet Counter, you can
You count rivets?
it's Rivet Counter.
Oh,
See,
God.
it's Rivet Counter.
Even says
It's a Rivet
that?
Counter
It
line.
does. Rivet Counter.
So if you're a Rivet Counter, that's really handy to know. So let's get this guy open. You got a knife over there? For once, I do not have my pocket knife
They
on me.
trust me with knives. Oh, hold
You know what? You got one?
No,
No?
I gotta go get one.
Nope, that's okay. I'm going to use my ID because
Oh my God.
what else do I ever use my ID for anymore? No one ever
know.
checks it.
We're going to have to start after this show.
There we go. Had it. Lost it. Got it back again.
Watch him break his
I'm
license.
going to break my ID in half.
Yeah.
This is some good tape. Scaletrains, I don't
Does
know
that
what
mean
you
you got a
guys...
split personality?
Oh, no, thank goodness.
No split personalities, huh?
Okay, so got that taken care of.
Yep.
Let's take this bad boy out of here. So we've looked at, everything else under the sun. We've got most of them over here. In fact, they're all here yet. So we're going to take these out, and we're going to compare them as we take them out. We're each going to get one, and we're going to pick it apart.
You said break it?
No, pick it apart. Like nitpick. So, is this taped? This is probably taped. Yes, it's taped. So what I get for not having my knife on me one time.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it just unfold open.
You're talking about 15-minute review. It's going to take you 15 minutes on pat.
It's gonna take. It's
15,
gonna take. Yeah,
15,
it's gonna
yeah.
take a little bit. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, which one do you want? Do you want A end, B end, middle?
Oh, just give me something.
Give me something.
That makes something.
All right, there's that. That plastic is not in there. It is kind of in there tight,
Kinda
but
is
don't
there.
count on it.
Don't count on it. Oh, awesome. Who's this guy?
This is Scaletrains, man. This is Scaletrains. Who doesn't love Scaletrains these days? Now, one thing I will say
I think I just
is I'm
became a
happy
fan.
with the weight. This is.
Awesome.
I don't think this is plastic. I think this
No.
might be die-cast. I think this is die-cast.
It is. It is.
Holy smokes! That's that is great news. I thought they were plastic.
I am in love already.
So first thing I want to say is I was not thrilled with their first one of these because they had cast-in color details that it just stood out like a sore thumb. These are all painted and it looks a million times better. But I do want to point out there's a couple in here where the details aren't quite square. I'm not going to nitpick that stuff. We're going off of overall value.
You just did.
I know, but
Yes.
I'm not going to sit here and keep holding it against them. Overall these are pretty nice. I think there's some dust or maybe some stuff from the factory just sitting on here, some dirt to clean up. But I think overall, these look really good with the see-through steps and whatnot.
You got the other end. Okay, look at the piping.
Yeah,
I don't
There's
know
a
if you
ton of
guys can
piping
see
in
it.
here
The
that is
piping
amazing.
on there is
I'll put a picture and they'll see it.
it's about as thick as a thread, if that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice Type E low shelf couplers. All right, well let's put the train together here.
Awesome
You got
piece.
that end.
I got this end.
Let's put it together. Plastic here. Where's you got your plastic screen? Here we go. Put that in there. Make sure you assemble this correctly, or we'll have a real short train. Oh, that fits so nicely. Remember those Atherns? They wouldn't couple.
Yeah,
they wouldn't sit right.
Yeah, they
The
come on
pen
angles.
would kind of like sit on it at an angle. That just boom, right
It's
on there.
Right on.
Perfect. So already right out of the box, I'm very happy with these.
Oh, yeah.
Now I want to say though, the price went up. These are $145 or $150. That was at yeah, $150, and that's that was at Hiawatha Hobbies. I bought all the containers there and everything. I don't think this was even marked with a price yet on this.
Well,
Doesn't look like it.
that's-
Oh, here. No,
that's
it's, okay,
beautiful.
list price is $180.99. Sale price at Hiawatha Hobbies is $144.98. $180. Holy crap. I'm sorry. That's a lot for 5 very thin freight cars. Very well detailed,
Oh.
nicely weighted, but holy cats. I wouldn't spend that much on 5 covered hoppers. Well, yes, I would, because they're almost $40 a piece these days. That is insane.
It's wow.
Now,
Yeah.
something to consider while we're looking at these is these have working roller bearing trucks, so you can see that turn. The only other brand that does that is going to be Tangent on the newer stuff, and Athearn Genesis has been doing that.
I'll be gosh darn, yes they
Yeah.
are.
And as far as I know, this is the only intermodal equipment that does that, unless you swapped out the trucks. So let's try some containers out. Throw that baby back on here. Let's try some containers out. We know that these will fit, but we've got different brands here. We've got Rapido, Athearn, Atlas, Scaletrains, obviously, Aurora Miniatures, Walthers,
Yeah.
and we'll see what else we can
We
find.
got a bunch of stuff.
So let me just clean this up a little bit. Ooh. So there's spare parts in here too in a small baggie. Look at that, all kinds of spare parts.
Oh yeah.
That's handy. You don't get that from like anybody else. So, so we've got some Athearn and Walthers cars here. Unfortunately, I don't have any 40 footers for Rapido or Scaletrains besides these guys, so we won't be able to test fit the Rapido. I'm not even entirely sure what Rapido has for well car or for containers. Grabbing this Atlas right here, quick. Cool. So here's an Atlas car. We're just gonna see if that guy fits in there, and he is, first off,
No.
snug. That is not going in there. That Atlas car will not go in there at all. So Atlas is out. We'll set that over here. Obviously these guys are too big. So here's a 40-foot, couple of 40-foot Walthers. We'll try these guys in here. Those fit like a gem. Perfect. Oh, there we go. Alright, so those fit good. And then here's two 20-foot Athearns. So you can see these have slots in the bottom sides of these.
Yep, they do.
So that everything fits in there nice and easy and has room to manipulate and move around. The Athearn won't fit. The Athearn won't drop down in there, it's too wide. So I don't know if Scaletrains is like, oh, that side would fit. What's with that? So this particular car will not. Oh, that is tight. Look how tight that is.
That's a straight.
It's pushing it out.
Yeah, it's not setting it.
That's not okay. So that's not right there.
Did it just drop in just at the last moment?
Yeah, this one fits in, but now it's snug on this side. It's tight. I have to wiggle that out. But now this side, this one fits in perfectly. Let's try this one. Okay, this side now it's tight. It's lifting out of that side.
It's the guides right here on the end.
Yeah, they're pinching.
They're pinching. I wonder if the paint.
They're separately applied, so that could be that they're just not in there enough.
Well,
Well, let's try out some of the Scaletrains containers and see how they do. Why don't you open up a pack?
40 footer, do you want?
Yep. I believe this is almost one of everything from this run. Very sharp cars and containers. I'm very happy with them. Oh, this is almost like Christmas morning. You want to open one, John?
Christmas for John.
There you go. Why don't you open up the Ocean Network Express? Who doesn't love the Ocean Network Express containers? Those things are so nice. All right. So these, I can already tell you, have much more of a sheen coming off of them than the Walthers do.
Dropped right in.
Okay, this one's tight on this end. Let's turn it around, see if it's the container. Nope, it's definitely the car. It's just tight. It's just snug. It's just snug, that's all. So let's drop that guy in here. Let's try that. Nope, that's not going in either. So there's something with the guides on the sides of the cars. Thank you, John. Thank you for your help. Our lovely assistant, John, right here.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Here,
Why
try
that
this.
doesn't
This
wanna...
one here is loose, so let's try it in that one.
That is, wow, that's stuck in the other side now.
Dropped right in.
Yeah, it did. That did just drop right in. Let's try swapping them. Okay, so
A
it's
little
snug.
tight.
It's a little snug. So
It's just it's slipping by the guides.
yeah, it's just getting stuck on the guides. Now we had plenty of other cars from Intermountain or A-Line that had some snug fits, and was it Kato, or was it the Atlas cars that were snug? But anywho, that happened. But it's never been with the same manufacturer of their own containers that were snug. That was never an issue. Mind you, I don't have any intermodal containers for the A-Line / Intermountain to try out.
Yeah, that just drops.
Yeah, and actually, does that hold on? Is that rocking in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's rocking in there.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, there's something in it.
No, it's just a piece of paper. That's not enough to say it, but still.
Yeah, that's. Well, let me.
It's rocking all over.
That is full on rocking in there.
Is that car warped or that container warped?
Oh, let's see if it does it over here.
I think it did. Uh-oh.
Yep. I think the container is actually warped. It doesn't sit. Yeah, it's not sitting flat straight. So for whatever reason,
Yeah, that's
let's see
good.
if it sits on this guy flat and straight. Oh yeah, there's a little wobble on that too. Not a whole lot. So I don't know why that would be. I'm not sure why what's causing that on there. Let's get these other containers opened up here. Here it is.
Christmas for John. Come on, John.
So these cars, the individuals are coming out at $10.49 a piece. List price is $13, and then the 3-packs are coming out at $38.99 on sale for $30.99. So $10 a car, which honestly I don't think is bad compared to what the market is. I thought this was a very reasonable price. I think it's right in line with Scene Master or the Walthers version of this stuff. So I think it's all right.
See how this one. This has got the same, like the
Canvas top.
Yep.
Let's see if it does the same thing. Ooh, a little tight.
Yeah, it's rocking in
Same
there.
thing.
So I want to try this guy over here. Oh, that's a snug fit. That one's not rocking. Let's try this one over here.
You know what? It don't make sense because you're looking at bottom. There's nothing sticking
This
out.
one's rocking too. So that's actually the first time we've had that.
Yeah.
A rocking intermodal container in a car. I don't think it's going to cause a huge issue while it's in the car, as long as it's not tipping out.
Going down
But
the
it
track,
doesn't
that could be exciting going down the track.
It could be exciting. We will find out because we're going to test the crap out of these. Obviously, they work well with just their containers, but the air is still snug in some of them. They're just tight, and you can actually see that's lifting the car up.
That's definitely alive.
Yeah. Well, half of your stuff here is alive.
Well, yeah, but look, that doesn't move. But little.
All right, so this guy's on here. I mean, on here. So these pieces, and I'll put a picture-in-picture for you guys to see this, but these are actually individually applied pieces.
Yeah.
I think that's what's causing it to stick like that. It's too bad the one that's rocking doesn't stick and it would actually hold it still.
Yeah, that's just rocking.
That'd actually be one time where that would come in handy.
The car ain't moving; it's the load, and like this one here, I'm doing that to it, and it's rock solid. Well, I'm moving the car a little bit. That's solid.
So here's my question.
Solid.
Do we attribute that to level of detail, and the more detail you have, the more problems you come across, or poor quality? What do you think?
I put it towards detail with some manufacturing, give some to the manufacturers, but I put it on the detail. You get more detail, you're gonna run into a lot more issues.
Yeah. Now I would say so far, especially for the money. So this was $145. The Athearn cost the same. That maxi stack over here cost the same as these. It was $150, brand new, Athearn, ready to run. Not Rivet Counter, not Genesis, ready to run. Obviously not as much detail, but I was very happy with the level of detail. Those cars performed great. Every container fit in there just fine. They worked flawlessly, no issues. These, you're paying the same price. You get more detail, you've got some issues, but I don't think there's anything here that you couldn't work with. It's just something you have to be aware of. Hey, those yellow patch TTX cars, hold them down when you lift the containers out. That's the only thing. As far as comparing them to Walthers, which I think has become our overall winner for this series.
So far
It's been the best with quality, with weight, accepting cars. They will take anything. They will take any manufacturer's cars. So far, I would still have to give it to Walthers because of the cost, the value, the quality, and nothing is ever going to get pinched in those cars. In my experience, they have not. And we've played around with these things for hours, if not days, worth of time.
I have a hard time faulting so far Walters for really much of anything because, yeah, I've got a lot of Walters out here and they get ran hard. They haven't failed.
Now, something interesting, going these back and forth, this car and this car are not square. They're both listing that way.
Really?
Yes, that one on the end particularly.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely see it. Sighting straight down, the barrel on it, yeah, it is leaning over. Is it still?
So I'm wondering, I think the plastic in here is bowed. I think the plastic bottom in there is bowed, and that's what's giving us trouble, because I can see the sheen on the middle band is kind of got a rise in it. It's warped.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can see
it. You can see it.
You can see it. She's rolled right down.
Yep.
Just like that. That's a shame. I mean, that is really an outstanding, nice car. And when you're seeing this kind of cost involved, you're expecting the best. And
I just broke a $150 freight car. And I don't care, because I'm going to fix it. This is modeling, folks. Mm-hmm. This is actually modeling. So here's what I'm noticing. That was press fit in here. I think the sides are actually bowing in. The die cast is actually bowing in, causing this plastic to push up. I think that's what it is. Because it snaps right back into place. No issue. I think the die cast is warped.
Maybe.
I think that's what's pushing the plastic. Because I can push the plastic down. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
No issue.
It just pushes right through. Now, the Walters, their bottoms of their cars was metal. The die cast metal, correct?
Well, the whole car is metal, yes. The whole car, everything but the details, the separately applied details on the Walters cars is die cast, the bottom and all. In fact, I think maybe the only part of a Walters that I've known, not saying it hasn't happened, is where the webbing might have been plastic, but the bracing was die cast. With this, everything under here is plastic, but the sides and ends, the car body itself, is die cast. I think that's where we're coming into an issue is because of that. What I do like, though, is you can see the airlines going between these cars, and they just about touch. I like that. That I really like. Hey, quit knocking stuff over, will you?
I'm looking. I think this is a Walters right here.
That is.
That's what I'm trying
but
to.
But that whole thing is die cast. The
whole
webbing and everything.
Thing is die cast.
I'm thinking when you get to some of the older cars, some of the webbing is plastic. So with that done, we've got a nice pile of garbage here we got to clean up. But let's put this on. Oh yeah, fit that baby in there nice and tight. Look at that. Hold that car still right there, and
Oh yeah, it's alive.
oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting. You know what? That seems like a great car to have one container on.
Oh gosh,
That
no,
seems
let's-
even better to put a 53 on it.
Yeah, let's make
Oh,
it
yeah,
exciting.
we
Let's
can
get
do it. We've got a nice Scaletrains
There we go.
reefer on there.
See that going through the tunnel.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at that.
There's motion.
Yeah, I'll pin that still.
Motor. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Poetry in motion there.
Yes.
Yes.
That is beautiful. That is a thing of beauty right there.
We'll have words to say about this thing when it gets caught sideways in a tunnel.
As it is. All right. Let's break, and then
Power up.
we'll run some trains.
Power
It's
up.
already powered up. I can hear
Oh,
you
yeah,
stuff
we're
chugging over there.
running hard. We're gonna.
Well, I need something to drink anyway, so we'll take a break here. We'll pick up. Oh, thank you. And we'll pick up. Oh, this is warm. You're gonna go get a fresh cold one now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We're gonna go run some trains, folks. Hang tight. We're gonna run the 5-packs together, which should be good. We've got the Walters diecast 5-pack. We've got the Maxi 2 5-pack. We've got the Twin Stack 5-pack, and we've got all the 5-packs here yet. So we're gonna run some 5-packs with these guys. I'm gonna go through, take some pictures of what we talked about, so I can edit that into the video so you can see exactly what we're looking at, and we're gonna go from there. Cheers.
Personally, I like 6-packs. Cases.
That's funny because you've got a keg.
I do not have a keg.
Yeah, that's one of the...
So first up, we have the Athearn ready to roll. And after that, we've got the Walters mainline. And then coming up, we have the Scaletrains Backpackers. And then after that, we've got another set of ready to roll from Athearn, and this is a different type of stack. And this has actually got what I would call a comparable level of detail to the Backpackers, as you can see there, the airlines and stuff on there. Good amount of detail, but I would say that Scaletrains pulls it off just a little bit better. So we've already had one derailment. I'm not sure if it was the Walters cars that did it or the Backpackers, but coming through the yard lead on the main, they derailed. And it was both trucks on this side, both sides of the coupler that derailed. I'm not sure which one was the offender, but that Walters has never derailed on this layout, so we'll see. We'll see how the mountain treats it. Hey, can you throw that switch for me down there? Make sure I got it the right way, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, hey.
Alright, so we've got our first derailment here with this car on its own. Last time it was both cars. I don't know which one initiated it. This time it was just this guy. On the third lap around, no issues on the first 2 laps, but this time we definitely had a derailment. Again, I'm not sure why. These cars are kind of light, but it's in the back half of the train. It's just another set of half-empty wells in the back. So, I mean, I'm not sure why it derailed this time. I'm not going to try swapping out couplers today. I just don't have the gear for it. So we're going to go around up to the upper level and see how we fare up there. We'll probably come back to the middle and try this out again just to see if this is a consistent thing or a one-off. But it happens. So let's keep trucking on. So,
all in one day.
We've gotten a few hours of runtime on these guys now, around all over the layout, lower level, upper level, right in the middle, right where it counts.
Yep.
And overall, I'd say they performed well. A couple of minor derailments. I'm not sure why, because they had to run around multiple times without an issue, and then it derailed. But I'd say overall, they're very nice looking models. There's a few minor defects with bent handrails. The metal steps here are popped up in a couple of spots. There's a couple of fine details that are crooked or something.
Yep.
And as we pointed out earlier, the containers don't sit easily in and out of the well cars. They're actually kind of snug. And we actually stripped off the what did you call that before? That where it actually fits down into the peg or whatever, that fits down into the hole.
Oh.
Trying to weasel this out, we actually stripped those right off the car. So it's not going to be on top anymore, at least not anytime soon. Yeah, the guides.
Yeah. Or you're talking about the pins on
the pins on the bottom of the container.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually broke off.
Ripped them out.
Ripped it right out. And then a couple of strange derailments. I wasn't sure if it was the Walters 5-pack, which until recently has never derailed on this layout. It derailed once in the yard. And then this one didn't derail in those spots. And I'd say this is a little bit lighter than the Walters cars, but overall, obviously, way more detail. These are coming in at $145, and then at Hiawatha Hobbies, you can pick up the 5-pack of the Walters for $110. So you're saving, $35. So for $35, you want more detail and you want a different car that's not just a thrall with the obvious vertical stiffeners, and you want something that's a little bit more smooth, and you don't want the maxi cars from Athearn. This is definitely an excellent choice. I can't wait to swap out the couplers, and put it through its paces on my layout at home, see how it does switching there. I've got some tighter radiuses, some steeper gradients than here, so it'll be interesting to see how it does there. But this was a nice, we went through some different slaloms, we went through crossovers, we went through diamonds, hundreds of switches, up and down the grades, all around the place, very few issues. More than I expected, to be honest, because I feel like overall, everything from the overall review of the well cars did surprisingly well.
Yeah.
We had minimal derailments. It was just the Atlas cars, and then I want to say we had trouble with the Intermountain cars a couple of times. They're just so light.
Yeah.
So With the die-cast cars, you definitely have the advantage of weight. Obviously, with Scaletrains Rivet Counter, you get all the detail. But with that comes a couple of issues. So we noticed there's a couple of parts missing, the airlines going between the cars. I did notice that when I was taking some up-close photos. Obviously, on the one car down here at the end, we've got that warped webbing underneath. We noticed that. That's not allowing the car to actually sit flat in there, which is an issue. But the webbing pops out, so what I might do is just file down the sides of that to let it sit flat. The rest of the cars, I think, were fine. We didn't have any issues with the rest of them. But really, where I really want to give credit for this review right now is actually to the containers. Right now, they're, I think, the only ones making the soft top containers, which are kind of unique. I'm starting to see them actually, I'll notice them more often. But I would say that these are a little bit nicer than the Walthers containers. I think they're Seamaster. I've got a plethora of them because that's my preferred intermodal company as Walthers, specifically Mainline. I've got some of their proto stuff, which I would put on this level of detail for the equipment. But the containers, these things are super nice. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually fit with the Walthers cars, which is impressive because working or cross-contaminating these container brands does not usually work out well. Now you can't put the Walthers, or maybe you can, right there, look at that. So that actually works out really well. And then I think Rapido works well with Scaletrains too. In fact, we've got one here. So one side fits, the other side does not. Which is kind of a funny thing. But Scaletrains and Walthers Mainline or their Seamaster works just fine. So those would be the two brands I stick with. Because Walthers does not make these as of yet. I don't think that they will. And I can't wait to see the Z Factor cars come out. I know in my heart somewhere Scaletrains is going to do those. I'm really excited about it. But just be aware that when you get more detail with this stuff, you do get more issues. We had a problem with the tank train today, my crude oil train from Scaletrains. We noticed that the chain mechanism mounted to the side of the coupler pocket is actually keeping the coupler pocket from sitting flat. It's crooked, and so the screws are loose. And so I went through tightening them, and it's actually got a little lever action going on, and it's letting the coupler flop more on the front. So that's something I'll have to file those down one car at a time to make them work right. But that's, when you get more detail, that's what you come up to. So I guess the question is, among the 5 packs that we've got the Walthers, we've got 2 Athearn,
Yep.
we've got the Intermountain, we've got, what else did we have for 5-pack? I know we had 4 total. 2 Athearn, 2 Athearn, then the Intermountain and these. I think I'd still probably put these, I don't know, between them and the Walthers. The Walthers is a bargain at $110. You'd probably still find the last one for $100, but you can only get 2 paint schemes. You can get TTX and APL. That's it. Whereas the Backpacker, you can get several paint schemes of TTX. You can get the BNSF. I think the last one actually had BN in it. Because they have a BN patch for BNSF now, so there's got to be a BN out there somewhere. If it hasn't come out already, I'm sure it will. But I think I'd give this to Scaletrains. The level of detail, you're paying $150 now for just about any 5-pack of well cars, or close to it. The extra $35 I think is worth it. I would change out the couplers. You got the detail, and if you're like me, you've got mostly a switching layout. You're going to stop and you're going to see that detail. I know here you're more about running, so you've got a lot of stuff, that's moving.
I wouldn't say it's just a moving layout. I mean, I like the details. The problem I've got with the details, maybe you've got the same problem, and I hope you don't have to suffer what I do, is the details. I love them to run. Anybody paying attention to a train going by, that's not a little train. If you notice, there were 3 burners on the front. Good reason. But the
locomotives.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, details end up with problems. They end up on the tracks somewhere. And unless you are super studious and meticulous about never having a car on the ground, never running into your stuff in the yard, imagine that, we have that here. And the detail I love. Can't say it enough. Love it. Bargain? Yep. If you're going to be after the detail and your guy is going to be like the box says, Rivet Counter on it, you're going to love this rascal. I can guarantee it. You're going to be thinking this is the best thing since sliced bread. But my thing is, would I pay for this myself for the detail? I will question myself on that. You like it and you're willing to go there because you appreciate the level of absolute detail, and I do. I just have a little problem because I break them, and I'm running them, and they run hard. So it's a little hard for me to bite that one off for this here. But I gotta admit, they've got a great deal.
Yeah. I do want to point out again that the biggest flaw, I think, is just the containers not wanting to come out. They're just getting pinched in there because there's individually applied parts that are just not recessed enough. File it down. You're not going to see it. File it down, throw on some rust, because that's what you're going to see anyways. Problem solved. As we know, it's kind of playing around with the containers. These aren't going to hold anything more than a 40 or 45 foot container on here. Not that you'd see anything other than that, but I think sand down the sliders or where the cars are just sliding into where they're getting pinched. Just a light little file, just that'll take care of that. And then be careful removing them. Like I said, when you twist the one set up, like this one's a little pinched in here, hold the car down and then pull it out, because we pulled the pins out on the bottom, and now that car is never going to sit on the top again. And that was my fault. That was us lifting it up, or his fault. I don't know.
You blame me.
But it's something that you learn as you go along. So otherwise, I'd say overall, these are probably a step up from Proto 2000.
Yep.
So for the price tag, that's great, because you're paying $40 for a single 40-foot, like that car right there with the K-line container on it. That's a $40 container. 4 times that price, and you've got this paid for, and that'll hold. It's a 5-car set. That's not bad at all. So swap out the couplers, call it a day. Test that on your layout with and without containers, see where the trouble spots are. But otherwise, I thought it did really well. There are some details missing. I've got some pictures of that. But they do come with spares in the bag for some of that stuff, which is awesome. One thing I will note, that compared to the Walthers and the Athearn, if you watched the last video we did about this, when I was moving it through the yard, I really got a kick out of all the squeaking, because everything was so tight or it wasn't sitting right, and you get that squeak as it's pivoting. You don't have that with these because they actually fit properly.
But also take this as a grain of salt too, that as we were pulling those other trains, they were long trains, and there was a side stress, especially going up through the mountains.
Oh yeah,
because you're going up through the mountains, you got as many as 7 curves you're negotiating simultaneously. Now you've got stress, and you start pulling. That's where the couplers will rip out on you, and you've got those things. The cars actually sometimes will start leaning off one rail a slight bit. I mean, they lift. It's like, oh my God, and it's where you hear a creaking to beat the band. It really does. It sounds just like the real deal.
Oh yeah.
But wheels shouldn't leave the ground.
They shouldn't leave the ground. I don't think they do that in the prototype too often, where they lean over like that and then come back down.
Yeah, it looks like a mess.
And speaking of leaning, we only had 4 or 5 packs on. I wasn't running the full length train, but these, I don't know. They had some lean into them, not like the Athearns did, that are just plastic and they just want to tip the first sign of stress, and they did well. So if you've got a large layout with long trains, or if you've got a small layout with tight radiuses, let me know in the comments how these have done for you. Otherwise, I give them a thumbs up. I would buy these. And for my layout purposes, I would take these over the Walthers. But those are a bargain. $110 for the new ones that were just released from Walthers recently. I would take these. I've got a smaller layout. I think I would prefer the detail. I don't need to worry about running a 50-car train with 3 or 4 locomotives or burners on them. So these work for me just fine. So with that said, that wraps it up. Thanks for watching another episode of Shawn's Trains.
Only got one question for you.
What's that?
Intermodal containers. I always thought they were always ship-bound containers. I don't understand soft tops. Why do they have soft tops?
That's a good question.
Anybody know?
I'll have to look into that and I'll tie that into the end of the video. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. I remember seeing something about it and that's about it, but I know that I have seen them. So I'll tie that in here in just a second for you guys, and we'll
Very
see what
good.
they do.
See you next time.
Well, it's
Okay.
going to be in a minute because we're going to actually look into what that is and then tell them.
Oh, God. Television magic. Gotta love it.
Boom! We're back.
Are we?
Yes, we're
Okay.
going to
We're back.
inform the uninformed since we are now
So
the
you're,
informed.
you're informing me that I am the uninformed.
Yes.
You have always been and forever shall be the uninformed.
Well, excuse me. So,
You're excused.
thank you. So, tell us what the magic is.
So I did a quick Google search because Google knows all, and basically it's just for bulk dry commodities, anything that might protrude through the roof a little bit. So it probably would not be on the bottom with a container on top.
You're the one put there.
May not be. I didn't say I was correct. I didn't say I know what I'm doing at any point in any of these YouTube videos. Have I said that I know what I'm doing?
Honesty.
Well, yeah, brutal honesty. I get it in the comments and on Facebook. But no, so it is a cool model. You can use it for grain, salt, whatever, as long as it doesn't exceed the load capacity. Any bulk commodity that you can put in a container, dump out, maybe there's a big overhead vacuum or something. Who knows? But it's kind of neat. I'm glad that someone's doing that because otherwise it's kit basher.
I would have never known, so
Yeah.
he did the investigation.
Yes, and it's been probably 3 minutes since we did the last clip. So, anywho, you guys have a great 4th of July. Thanks for tuning in to Shawn's Trains at Superior Scenics here. And
Anybody
special-
watching the trains?
and again, another shout out to Micro Scratch Build Structures for helping sponsor the show as well. You guys take care.
Bye.